Monster Hunter Wilds, when it was released, was an absolute success. The best selling game of the year already, by a wide margin, in fact. But now, well, now it's currently not looking good for Wilds because they have managed to piss off all of the player base, which is really bad, but also at the same time, kind of in line with my prediction what's gonna happen with Capcom.
In my last Wilds video, I was singing its praises and saying that the game is headed in a very good direction, but now, we have this. Ooh, that's not good. Wilds has been getting a lot of
That is a lot of negative reviews. All-time reviews mixed. That is horrible. This was super positive at the start.
negative reviews on Steam recently, and I took the time to read a bunch of these negative reviews to see what they were saying, and I've come up with a few ideas as to why this is happening. Let's get started with the one thing that has bothered me the most, not because it's happened, but because people are complaining about it happening. Take a look at this tweet from the official Monster Hunter account on Twitter. You might have seen this already, but it's a tweet that basically details that if you somehow get access to unauthorized content that has not been released in the game yet, you are in trouble and you're gonna get banned. Modding is a big part of Monster Hunter for some. I know that the community is very passionate about modding different Monster Hunter titles. You can call me a purist if you want. I enjoy the vanilla versions of games more. I think the only time I ever modded anything in a Monster Hunter game was me modding a Artorias layered sword to replace the Kirin layered weapon. That was back in Iceborne, and I don't really mod things often. I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't really like it. It's not just a Monster Hunter thing, by the way. I just don't mod games in general. Now, my general stance on the matter is that
Same. If you want to mod things, go ahead, but I don't think modding should be an initial cornerstone of the game. I think modding is just the solution for the fact that the game developers are not good enough. For example, Bethesda is obviously the greatest example of that, where people are begging it to please not update the game because that will break the mods, and everyone knows that any Bethesda update is never worth it. So, modding just becomes a tool, a desperate last ditch effort for people with a passion to save the game that they love. So, the less modding in general is actually happening, the more I kind of think it's good.
if you want to mod your game to have like a one-shot weapon, or you have like a brand new set of aerial moves or whatever, or you just want the female models to have giant fucking anime titties, you know what? It's your game, you do you. However, when you do this in multiplayer, you are
Boob sliders are a must in every game. It's true.
ruining other people's fucking experience, and why? I don't want to be playing the game with someone that has a greatsword that one-shots all the monsters. I don't want to play the game with someone who hacked the Lagiacrus armor into their save file before the monster is even out. If you got a mod to make your character look like 2B or whatever, I don't see it on my end, it doesn't matter. But if your mod affects gameplay, I don't want you in my lobby. Especially if you're someone who somehow got access to files in the game that have not been announced or released, and you're using them in public lobbies. Like, dude, why? It's the equivalent of walking into a movie theater and spoiling the whole fucking movie before it's even begun. And it pisses me off to see people say shit like, no, you shouldn't.
Bro, that was the moment when everyone was when Harry Potter, whatever pod got spoiled, and people were yelling at the line at the movie theater, Snape dies. Snape dies. I guess I'm sorry for spoilers, but I mean, it now Snape's black. That's how old Harry Potter is. It is what it is.
Ban your players. You're punishing them for opening your Christmas presents too early. Brother, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't have a point. You're getting it wrong from the get-go because it goes against the terms of service. The same terms of service that you agree with when you buy and launch the game. I just can't get over how dumb of an argument that is. You aren't entitled to a company's intellectual property even if it is within a game because it hasn't been announced or released by the owner. Like I said, if you're in single player and you're modding your own game to have a one-shot weapon or a set of moves from a different game, like aerial moves or whatever, if you're only affecting your experience, your gameplay, mod the—
By the way, you know what's completely wild? That this is an actual discussion even. Because the obvious answer to this is, without question, anyone who says otherwise is just purely wrong. I don't care who you are. But yeah, modding an online game should get you banned. Now, granted, maybe the company allows you to mod big tits, which is great, but any other modding should 100% be banned. That's called cheating. It's not modding. It's cheating. If you're
The game however the fuck you want, it is not my problem. But under no circumstances should I or anyone else have to deal with your modding in a public server. Unless, like I said, it's something that changes, I don't know, a layered weapon or a layered armor set, something like that that is harmful, it doesn't affect any gameplay whatsoever, I'm way more tolerant towards. But if you're hacking the game, you're affecting other people's experience, and you're like essentially spoiling the entire game for people, then yeah, you should get banned. I have no sympathy for you. In fact, I would strongly recommend us players to keep an eye out on new arena and challenge quests to see those clowns that beat the quest in 3 seconds because they hacked the shit out of the game, and catch them red-handed so that we can report the account and these ass clowns can just get banned. So yeah, I'm backing up both the community and Capcom because I think the community should have the right to mod their game and experience it in whatever way they fit within the limits of their own experience. And to those of you who think you're anime protagonists thinking that you can
this is the line in the sand is so slim here. A lot of people are gonna disagree and whatnot. It's expected.
Just mod the game because your experience is more important than everyone else's, get fucked, get banned, I don't want you around. And to all of you who want to defend this kind of shit in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong, allow me to preemptively respond by saying this.
Let's actually check, is there anyone like that in the comments? Monster Hunters, you can mod your game, not my game, bro. Agreed. Yep. And that has 600 upvotes. True. Capcom, don't gang or shit and don't ruin blah blah blah. Ban scripts. Yep. Okay. I mean, I think that's a. I mean, everyone's probably gonna agree with that, right?
If you're gonna cry on my lap, then just call me daddy. Boo fucking who, I don't care. What I do care about, and something that I will have to stand up for the players here, are the performance issues on PC, because shit is way out of control. Wilds is currently sad and mostly negative on Steam, and that is a big deal. Not even with all the Rise hate, the game had the mostly negative score. Like, guys, the Monster Hunter community is probably the most loyal, down-to-earth.
It's, by the way, absolutely absurd how 10 years ago gamers were docile creatures that pretty much agreed with anything any game they've slapped in their face, and now it's like, we're gonna dislike the shit out of you on any platform, we're gonna comment negative things, we're gonna fucking make it so you can't even release the second game if you try to pull any of this crap off. It's pretty insane. And by the way, here we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company. There's no excuse for the game being in as poor a state as it is.
Super into their game kind of people. We're the kind of player base that would buy GU re-releasing on PC just because we want to experience it all over again. And so despite the whole hacking thing being a terrible point that doesn't really warrant an...
Okay, one thing about the Monster Hunter community that it is kind of wild. Listen, I don't have any problems challenging any community or being mean to them if I feel like it. But Monster Hunter is slightly different. Even I think twice about, you know, going at them for no reason what at all. Because you need to understand, the average Monster Hunter fan does not have $100 in the game. The average Monster Hunter fan starts with roughly 1,000 hours in the game, and the average has like 2 or maybe 3,000 hours in those games. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. What is considered an average fan in this franchise versus others.
Negative review in my opinion, the performance issues definitely do. Full transparency, in my own experience, I haven't had performance issues. My PC is well above the recommended settings, and since day one, I haven't really had any problems. Until the shader cache problem. For those of you who don't know, there's been a current issue.
You know what's the funny part about this? This is also something people get wrong a lot. No, I'm not saying he's getting this wrong, but people in general don't really understand the crash issue, right? There's so many parts that a PC can be built from. Even if you have a top-end PC, that doesn't mean that you're safe from crashes. There are tons of games coming out where people with average PCs experience no crashes, while high NPCs experience a lot of crashes. It's just a game of chance. If it's poorly optimized, it doesn't matter if your PC is bad, average, or good. You're just throwing the dice if you're gonna crash or see a lot of issues or not. That's just simply how it is.
Where the most recent update to the game didn't recompile your shaders. You know when you load into your game and you see that little bar loading say recompiling shaders? That shit's very important. But for some reason, this didn't happen this recent patch. The Monster Hunter status account, which I think is a official Monster Hunter account, which I just recently found out, has issued a tweet explaining how to fix this on both AMD and Nvidia GPUs. And although this is a quick and easy fix, it shouldn't be up to your players to make sure that the game runs properly. I have done some research and people have said that just in general Nvidia drivers are very bad right now, and some people haven't updated their chipset drivers that make the games run a lot smoother. You can get like 20 to 30 additional frames per second. But the bottom line here is that when Wilds launched, there was already a conversation going on about the whole rocky and unstable performance of the game on PC. And now that the game is running worse, or in worst cases not running at all for some people, yeah, people are gonna get rightfully pissed. Although I will admit, in all this chaos, I feel for the devs. Oh, but Ark, why are you covering for Capcom? You're such a Capcom shield, blah, blah. No, not Capcom, the devs. I very much doubt that the devs are having an easy day at work when their most popular title has been getting some serious issues.
They get paid fucking enough.
That were never seen before in the series. So yeah, these performance issues definitely need fixing. This game needs a new patch that addresses more and more problems like this, because you are losing players who, mind you, are loyal enough to buy any of your games, any of your expansions, but they need to be addressed, with the proper respect. But like I said, I trust the team, I believe in them, I know that this is not easy for them, and I hope that they will fix the game and make it all worth our time. I know that they can. I believe in you guys.
Hot take. Monster Hunter is just kind of Lost Ark, but in third person.
After all, both the team and us, the consumers, we just want to see Monster Hunter Wilds be the best game it can be. Another topic that I've found within my reading of these reviews is the lack of content / the drip feeding. People are saying that Wilds doesn't have enough to do, and that the content that is being released for the game is just too slow. There isn't enough to do, right? And part of me kind of agrees, because when we look at this post made by Shincry, it shows the development stages and new content drops from Monster Hunter World, Rise, and Wilds. Now, I'm not going to really bring up Rise, because Rise was developed during COVID, so I'm far more tolerant to this kind of stuff, as I worked on multiple projects professionally during COVID, and it was hell. I know what it's like. Also, bear with, because I'm going to highlight both positive and negative aspects of what's currently going on with these title updates. By now, if we were in the update cycle of Monster Hunter World, we would have had 7 collabs, 2 new monsters, and a spring festival. Now, in Wilds, we've also had the Spring Festival. We've also had 2 new monsters, even though one of them was the high-rank version of Zoshia, and 1 really big collab. And I want to, highlight the collab bit here, because the collab that we had with Akuma is far better than, say, the Mega Man collab for me. But then this is semantics, because a Mega Man fan will obviously say, no, Ark, you're wrong. I actually prefer the Mega Man collab in World than I do the Akuma in Wilds. So yeah, you're welcome to disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. I just wanted to tell you how I honestly felt. In that time in Wilds, we also had hub arenas and the new...
Those collabs seem wild, not gonna lie. I get it, wild.
Investigations with the 8-star monsters. Now, when Wilds released, one of the things that I said is that I expected the roster to be bigger. Don't get me wrong, I love all the monsters in Wilds.
Also, this is quite a problematic thing, considering, again, your average Monster Hunter player is literally hundreds of hours into this game. So the problem adding new content to this game is the fact that, I mean, you're gonna add it and someone's gonna finish it in the next 2 hours without cheating, which is just a big issue. Now, granted, is he actually showing the Steam DB? He's not. Wow, because Monster Hunter Wild Steam DB is, well, it's something. Monster Hunter Wild Steam DB. Okay, let's look at this, because, I mean, it's not the worst, but it is definitely something to see. I haven't actually checked, is it actually that good or bad, so let's figure it out, boys, together. So this is the whole thing, right? This is where it started. Absolute massive numbies. 1.4 milli right there on the dot, boys. And then 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, five, six. Oh no, that's the same one. Oh, no, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 months in, and we have an average of what, like 15K players playing or something like that. It's I don't know. Is that good or bad? 15K of 1.4 mil? Jeez, that's less than 1%. That's like 0.8% retention. Yeah, questionable, ain't it? Yeah, definitely questionable. But typically, that's a disaster, but for Monster Hunter Worlds, I don't know. It's Monster Hunter. It's not supposed to be kind of played forever. You got this point right here, which was, I don't even remember what this was. What was this? Major update. Just a major update. And it instantaneously got a lot of players back. I think Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm sorry, not Worlds, but Wilds is definitely not dead, but it kind of is slightly struggling. And the recent, like, you can see how the state of the game is literally impacting it. Look at this. It's like not even 10 days ago we were at 20K players. Okay, that's 1%. That's 1.3% roughly retention rate, and now down to 0.8. That's not good. You can see that the difference has been pretty massive, that the negativity definitely has meaning, that people are not enjoying it. Look at this. Let's look at this. What is this? Steam Hub followers, no one cares. When can I see the... I can't really see them, huh, normally. Yeah, it's not looking good. A lot of people are being very negative about it. And I'm pretty sure the recent, to make this happen, the recent negative reviews have to be like 90% negative. That's not good. That is really, really bad numbers right there, not gonna lie. So, obviously, people complaining about the Monster Hunter Worlds Wilds. Why do I want to say Worlds? I don't know. But Wilds, they do have a point. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. The players have spoken, and a lot of players have quit.
I think the roster is exceptionally diverse, every fight is fun, but I did expect to see a couple more monsters, and I think it's very cheeky to try and count Guardian Arkveld as its own monster, because, you know, Rathalos and Guardian Rathalos feel much more different than Guardian Arkveld and Arkveld. Regardless, there is a clear difference in amount of content that we've gotten with World by now and with Wilds. Now, with all of this, it sounds like I'm attacking Wilds, but I'm about to say something pretty stupid. I actually think the update cycle has given me more enjoyment in Wilds than in World. Now, it's preference based, so it's not because I think your opinion might differ. The reason I say it's stupid is because both the Grand Hub and High Rank Xochitl should have been included in launch. And if you think that way, which is my train of thought, then we remove the Grand Hub and High Rank Xochitl and we're left with one new monster for the first title update in Wilds. But let's bring Rise back into the mix, because all of these titles had things that considerably changed the flow of the game, adding a bunch of stuff in. And here's where my biggest copium and the argument that's going to get me called a Capcom Monster Hunter Shield is going to come in. I believe that now the Wilds has the foundation necessary for difficulty to be more pleasant. Title Update 2 could be it. Now let me explain why I'm so hopeful. It's because number 1, in World, Title Update 2 gave us Kulve Taroth. Title Update 1 and 2, I believe, in Rise gave us monsters that were not announced. They were just added into the game without any trailers, without any show. And given that I believe that the team is working hard to recuperate the reputation for Wilds, Title Update 2 could be a really big deal. They already announced the return of Lagiacrus, and I've already spoken at length about how I want that to go down. You can watch that video if you want me to talk about Lagiacrus in specific. But if they're opening up with Lagiacrus, the follow-ups cannot be letdowns. Let's be real, we already know that Arch-Tempered Uthduna is going to make its way into the roster at some point during this title update, but it is really hard for me to believe that it's just going to be Lagiacrus plus Arch-Tempered Uthduna. It just doesn't sound right. It feels feels like there's more that they're cooking. I mean, after all, why did Title Update 2 take so long after Title Update 1? There's gotta be a reason, whether that be 1 or 2 new monsters. It will all depend on the quality of those monsters and also their difficulty. Some people say they want Elder Dragons to come back, some people would want to see Seregios come back because a lot of 4U monsters are making it onto the roster for Wilds. But given the current climate with, you know, the performance issues, the people bitching about not being able to publicly mod the game, the lack of content is yet another reason that some people are looking back to just go and play older Monster Hunter games. Ideally, I say give me Lagiacrus, give me Arch-Tempered Ufduna, and give me a couple of new monsters that weren't announced, just like Shadow Drop them, include a quest in there, don't tell anyone, just like you did with Basil back in Rise Title Update 1. Introduce new 8-star monsters, like, I don't know, more of the lower classes, not just the Apexes, to make their fights also really enjoyable. We're also getting layered weapons, which is something that a lot of us have been waiting for.
I mean, more content is gonna work. Make the game, well, more stable, make the game better, a better experience in general, and add more monsters, more items. Sounds pretty simple, right? Let's see if Capcom can pull it off, though. And, well, obviously, do not introduce any pay-to-win shenanigans, Capcom, because, again, I have my doubts about Capcom in general. Because, I mean, the moment it starts going downhill for Capcom, it's gonna go fucking super downhill. So, I don't know if this is that moment. We're gonna see in the next upcoming months if this is that moment. Because it's gonna take a little bit of a while to set in, if that is that moment. But yeah, when Capcom starts going down, it's gonna be really, really, really unironically bad. Anyway, that was Arc Knight, 10 out of 10. Bye!